The video of Millicent crying on the ground spread across social media like wildfire. Her boutique had been destroyed, her contracts cancelled, her name dragged through the mud. And as she knelt on the floor, shaking with humiliation, someone in the crowd shouted loudly, "Homebreaker, stay away from our married men." But the truth was something no one in that crowd knew. Millicent had never known the man was married, and the women who had just destroyed her life called themselves the Legal Wives Club. Before I continue, if you love emotional stories with real drama and shocking twists, stay with me, subscribe, like this video, and drop a comment already, because this one, you will need to talk about it. In the worldly circles of the city, there existed a group of women whose loyalty to one another was stronger than friendship. They called themselves the Legal Wives Club. It started as a private support group, a place where wives shared their frustrations about unfaithful husbands, late nights, suspicious messages, and the humiliation of discovering another woman had entered their marriage. At first, they simply comforted each other, but over time, comfort turned into anger, and anger slowly turned into war. The leader of the group was a woman named Veronica. Veronica was elegant, wealthy, and feared. She owned several properties across the city, and she was known for her strong personality. But behind the luxury and confidence was a woman who had endured humiliation from her husband. Richard was a powerful businessman, successful, charming, and extremely unfaithful. For years, Veronica had ignored rumors, but one day she received proof, messages, pictures, hotel bookings. Richard had been seeing another woman. That day changed Veronica forever. Instead of confronting her husband, Veronica directed her rage elsewhere, at the woman. And that was how the Legal Wives Club changed from a support group into something far more dangerous. The rules of the Legal Wives Club was simple. If any member discovered another woman involved with her husband, the club would handle the situation together. This goal was to scare the woman away. But over time, their method became darker, much darker. They investigated their targets. They gathered personal information. They contacted employers, spread rumors through paid bloggers, destroyed reputations, and sometimes destroy entire lives. To them, it was justice. To the outsiders, it was terrifying. And so far, no woman has ever dared to fight them back. The first woman they targeted was a young receptionist named Angela. Angela had unknowingly started dating the husband of one of the club members. The wives quickly gathered evidence and confronted her at her workplace. But the confrontation did not stop there. They sent anonymous emails to her boss. They posted accusations online. Within weeks, Angela lost her job, ashamed and terrified, so she left the city entirely. The Legal Wives Club celebrated their victory. To them, they had protected a marriage. The second woman was a hairstylist named Tina. Unlike Angela, Tina knew the man was married, so the wives showed no mercy. They posted videos accusing her of being a professional husband snatcher. Her salon lost customers overnight. Her landlord forced her to move out after neighbors complained about the scandal. Within months, Tina's life collapsed. Once again, the Legal Wives Club celebrated. Their reputation grew. People began whispering about them in fear. If you were seen with a married man in that city, you prayed you will never attract their attention. Then, Millicent was nothing like the women they had targeted before. She was only 27 years old, but she had built a life many people admired. Millicent owned a successful boutique store downtown. Her clothing design had begun gaining popularity online. She also owned a delivery truck business, transporting goods for small companies. Millicent had built everything herself. No wealthy parents, no powerful sponsors, just years of hard work. She believed strongly in independence, and she had one rule she always lived by. She would never date a married man, never. Millicent had watched too many women destroy themselves over men who never truly chose them. So she promised herself something simple. If a man wasn't free, he wasn't welcome in her life. Then Richard met Millicent. He introduced himself as a single and searching, ready to mingle businessman. He never mentioned that he was married, even though Millicent asked, but still he emphasized that he was single. He never mentioned a wife, and he never mentioned a marriage. He told Millicent he had never settled down because he had been focused on building his company. He was charming, generous, attentive. At first, Millicent kept her distance, but Richard was persistent. He visited her boutique often. He supported her designs. He even helped her secure a few business contacts. Slowly, Millicent began to trust him, and eventually she allowed him into her life. But secrets have a way of surfacing. One afternoon, Veronica's friend spotted Richard leaving Millicent's boutique. The woman recognized him immediately. She took pictures. Within minutes, the Legal Wives Club had a new target. They began their investigation. They discovered Millicent's business, her delivery contracts, her boutique, her social media, everything. And the moment Veronica confirms the relationship, the decision was made. Millicent will be destroyed. The legal wives moved quickly. They contacted Millicent's business partners. They spread rumors that she seduced married men to fund her company. They sent anonymous accusations to her suppliers. Within days, contracts started disappearing. Partners pulled away. Customers became suspicious. But the worst moment came one afternoon at her boutique. A group of angry women stormed inside. Confrontation was loud, humiliating. Customers to watch. People recorded videos. Veronica stood at the center of the chaos. Her voice was cold and sharp. You think you can steal another woman's husband and build your life with it? Millicent was confused. What are you talking about? Veronica slapped a photo onto the counter. It was a picture of Millicent and Richard. Don't pretend you don't know him. Millicent stared at the picture. Her face went pale. He told me he was single. The woman laughed loudly. That's what they all say. What happened next spread across the internet. The video showed the women shouting accusations, calling Millicent names, customers leaving the boutique. Within hours, the video was trending online. Headlines appeared. Businesswoman exposed for dating married men. Side chick scandal rocks local entrepreneur. Millicent's reputation collapsed overnight. Her boutique lost customers. Her contracts disappeared. Her delivery company shut down. Everything she had built vanished. And the worst part, Richard disappeared. He stopped answering her calls, stopped replying to her messages. He simply vanished, leaving Millicent alone in the middle of a storm she never created. For weeks, Millicent disappeared from public view. People assumed she had left the city like the others. The Legal Wives Club considered the mission complete. Another victory, another woman removed. They celebrated again, confident, untouchable. But they had made one terrible mistake. Millicent was not Angela. She was not Tina. Millicent had lost everything. Her business, her reputation, her future. And when someone loses everything, they have nothing left to fear. Millicent stood under the dim street light, staring at a city that had just watched her life fall apart. They are taking everything from her. Her boutique, her contracts, her reputation, and the worst part, they never even cared to know the truth. But the sadness that once filled her eyes was gone, replaced by something else, something colder, something stronger. She had spent weeks uncovering the truth about Veronica, about the Legal Wives Club, and about the husbands they protected, and about the secrets they thought no one will ever discover. But what Veronica and the Legal Wives Club did not realize was that the woman they had just destroyed was not weak. Millicent wiped the last tear from her face and slowly whispered, "You destroyed the life I built single-handedly with my sweat." A small smile appeared on her face. not the happy one. I will build something bigger. Now it's my turn. And somewhere in the city, a new war was about to begin. Because sometimes the people you try to silence become the loudest voice in the room. And very soon, Millicent will return, not as a victim, but as a force the Legal Wives Club has never seen before. But what happens when Millicent rises again and creates a powerful movement called the Side Chicks Camp? Will the Legal Wives Club regret the war they started? Or will the battle between these two powerful groups destroy even more lives? You will find out in part 2. If you enjoyed this story, subscribe to Tales Mama Official, like this video, and share it with someone who loves emotional stories like this. And tell me in the comments, do you think Millicent deserves revenge, or should she walk away? Stay tuned for part 2. Millicent's comeback, because the real story is just beginning.